Alright, so we took a little detour while we're down in Thomasville, and some of the, when I was talking about the melted lead that I'd found, and said there was Civil War activity here in Thomasville, well, we came out to the old prison camp. A lot of people didn't know that there was a Union prison camp down here, run by the Confederacy, that the Union soldiers were encamped at, and 5,000 men were marched or brought down here in fear of Sherman's marching army would have raided Andersonville. So they brought 5,000 guys down here and put them in a prison camp. It didn't have walls. It had 6-foot deep ditches all the way around it, covered 5 acres. And then they left here and marched them to Albany, which is about 60 some odd miles, and then put them on a train and carried them back to Andersonville. So we thought maybe we'd make a little trip around here, and so I just wanted to show you the sign right here, and I'll put a still frame of it up there, a picture in a picture where you guys can read it. But that's it right there. And so we're going to walk in here a little bit and show you the encampment. They excavated this property, and I don't know who found out it was here or how they found out, but this is what's left of the trenches right here. And you can see as they go way over there, it would have been, the trenches came all the way down. I'll walk over here and show you. And of course, you know, they've pulled bullets and stuff out of here, and there's no, you know, there's just no way. This is a historical marker, so you can't metal detect out here now. But, and with it being excavated the way they did, I don't think there'd be anything left in the ground. They had ground penetrating radar, cadaver dogs. There's a big write-up about it. But this was a camp, and it would have gone, this has been filled in here, but it would have covered 5 miles all the way around this right here, and then back up by that old church. So I don't know if the camera's showing that with a sign on it, but you see how the ditch goes right there. It would have gone all the way over there, and it was 5 acres worth. So all these cedar trees that are planted here, some are pretty old, and but anyhow, that was a prison camp during the Civil War, and that's a neighborhood, nice, peaceful, quiet neighborhood. It's kind of forgotten in time. So feels kind of weird walking on this property. If you don't know about Andersonville Prison was one of the most ruthless prison camps in history. A lot of men died there. A lot of them died needlessly for the lack of food and the lack of shelter, for the lack of humanity, you know. I mean, it's one thing to, you know, be captured and put in prison, but to be left to starve to death and just treated the way that these men were treated was just totally wrong in anybody's standards. And I think the guy that ran Andersonville was actually tried for war crimes at that time. It's a bad deal. And you think about all of our wars that we've had or that we've seen in this country, 600,000 men perished in the Civil War. I mean, that's more than Vietnam. That's more than any war we've had. And you think about 600,000, and a lot of them that died in battle. A lot of them died in captivity. And you know, people are trying to erase history. They're trying to forget about it, and I think it's the wrong thing. And it's just my opinion, but I think it's wrong. I think we need to teach our kids about this kind of history, because if you don't, history's going to repeat itself, and you know, people are going to make the same mistakes that they made back then. And war's ugly. I mean, there's nothing glorious about war. I mean, Hollywood has glorified war, and war's ugly. And And today, by the way, is Memorial Day. So I just, you know, walking out here along this, it just, I don't know how to describe the feeling or the emotion, but it's, you know, like I said, it's just a nice quiet neighborhood. There's people out in their yards working, and probably never even thought twice about this piece of property. All that remains is that ditch right there of something that was pretty brutal. And I'm sure that those guys that, you know, the 5,000 that they brought down here were not in the best of health. So they brought them down here, whether they marched them or put them on a train. I don't think they did. I think they marched them. And because the sign says they marched them from here back to Albany and then put them on a train and went up to Andersonville. So anyways, a lot of the guys that were here died of smallpox and dysentery, and there was all kind of sickness, you know, yellow fever and the plague. I mean, you just name it, there was a variety of them. And so anyways, you know, guys were fighting for their country, you know, both sides of their country, and they were dying for it. So I just thought it might be fitting to come out here today, being Memorial Day, and us out, you know, having the freedom to go metal detecting and do the things that we love doing. And it's all because of the men who fought and died, not only at this location, but across the globe, fought for our rights and our freedom. So take that in consideration, guys. When you see that American flag waving proud, I want you to think about the Americans that died to do what we do what you do. The freedom of religion, you know, the freedom of speech, the freedom to do what you want to do. It all comes from that soldier. It wasn't mom and dad that gave you that freedom. It's not your school teacher. It was the American soldier. So, yeah. Hats off to the American soldier. We're going to get back to metal detecting. We're going to go find us another spot, but I just wanted to bring you guys by and show you this. So anyway, you guys have a great Memorial Day, and we'll see you on the next one.